Hi and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast, brought to you today by Profit Accumulator. The link is in the description if you want to get involved with Profit Accumulator. Do that and you have a chance to make yourself a little bit of extra cash in these tough times. We have DT in the building. We are back in the studio and I can't tell you, it's good to be back. I remember the last time he was here.
December.
Remember that?
December.
Yeah, that was when you came and gave everybody COVID.
Oh, don't start all that again.
Walked in here.
It's nothing to do with me. Look, I've been back here 30 seconds and you're starting already.
As those guys pointed out, right?
There's no pointing out.
Who was the person who was sick?
They're your employees. They're going to back you.
Who's the person who was sick?
You. All week you were coughing over everyone.
Me? Who when they was doing the watch along, a mystery pack of Strepsils dropped out the back of their pocket?
Why are they laughing in the background? I can actually hear them all laughing. They think they're funny.
But you know what, right? Listen, it's good to be back, man. And it's good that everybody's in good health. And it's good that, at the moment, in the UK, we're starting to see better news with the vaccine rollout and stuff like that. And hopefully, I was chatting to somebody at Arsenal a couple of days ago, and they're very optimistic about getting back into stadiums and games and stuff like that. And it's, oh man, I just can't wait to just get back inside that ground.
It's been nearly a year.
Nearly a year. Would you believe that? If somebody had said to you, there'll be no football for a year, you won't be able to... For fans like us who go every single game, it's just been...
Unheard of. Unprecedented. But they were saying as well, we was talking about the final game of the season that fans may be allowed back in, up to 10,000. Apparently the Premier League are debating whether to actually cancel that and not allow it because they feel it might be an unfair advantage to whoever's playing at home on the final game. Oh, yeah. If you're playing for a Champions League spot, Europa League spot, relegation, whatever it might be, you would have a bit of an advantage with 10,000 of your fans in the stadium. But then my argument to that would be, what difference is it to a few months ago when they started to let 1,000 or 2,000 fans back in? Still fans. We had to go and play the North London derby at Spurs Stadium with fans in there. Yeah. So I want to get back in the stadium as much as possible, man.
I miss it. It might make sense to just say, start of next season. And I reckon they'll probably roll it out at first with just home fans.
Maybe let them have the finals.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There is talk of
neutral games.
Yeah, they are talking about the FA Cup final as being possibly the tester for it. The one season we don't get to an FA Cup final. Great.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to have the Euros, isn't it? Where hopefully,
and it might be in this country.
Be in this country.
Solely.
So it's just good that there's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel that football might be coming back. And I think that we've all just had enough now of just watching it from home and stuff like that. We want to get back in those stadiums. So it'd be brilliant. And we did a AGB Extra a couple of days ago, right? And we did a poll on that. Right, and I asked a question, and we spoke about this in the AGB Extra about who should have the right back spot because it was a big debate. Cedric's come in; he's been playing a lot of times on the left-hand side because Tierney was out. Came back in on the right at the weekend, had a good game, and me and you were talking about it, and you was quite adamant that you'd go Cedric on the right-hand side. If it was from now till the end of the season,
absolutely no doubt.
Person who should go in and start should be Cedric. We're going to do that as our matchup again today, right? I want to continue this on. As our matchup, Cedric or Hector Bellerin, who should be right back from now till the end of the season? There's still some important games coming up. There's them Europa League games and there's big games against Tottenham and that. Who in those type of games is your starter at right back?
If the voting is close, then and that's why you're continuing this.
Well, I'm continuing this, right? But I'm gonna tell you that at the moment, and you can go over to AFTV VIP. The link's in the description for the app, right? The voting at the moment, I've never seen voting like this ever for any subject. I can't remember anyway. It's 96%. Say Cedric.
Wow.
4% Hector Bellerin. I cannot believe that. 96%.
Wow.
Remembering that Hector Bellerin's a very popular guy at Arsenal. 96%.
Jesus Christ.
So let's keep
That's
that
mad.
going. I want to see if that changes after doing today. I mean, are people being a bit too harsh on Hector Bellerin here?
I don't think so.
You know,
I've said this. I said it to you the other day. I said when we done the extra show, you was giving down breakdowns of position strengths and everything else and trying to compare. And I said to you that there's not really anything Bellerin can do that Cedric can't. He's even not got the pace anymore.
you were saying that, you were saying even in pace, you think Cedric's quicker.
I don't see a
Quicker
difference.
in short bursts, you were saying,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
see a difference in him. I genuinely don't.
96%. I could not believe that.
That's
Wow. So
staggering.
we'll keep that going. It is
I
staggering.
thought it might be around about 65, 70 kind of, because you always have that side of things where some people kind of go with a player because they like him. And it's, like you said, he's a popular character, but...
I got another one for you, yeah? And another one I'm going to throw out there in the comments as well. Granit Xhaka. He's played, I think you were saying to me even before we started this podcast, that he's played the last
12 games.
12 games.
All 90
full
minutes.
90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Come the end of the season, would you keep or sell Granit Xhaka?
I'll still keep him. There's a lot more around him that I would be selling. 100%.
Because he's become a very important member of the team.
Experience.
He's very experienced. I feel that, like, in games like this weekend's game, we'll talk about this a little later on, Burnley, that those physical games, Granit Xhaka, you ain't bullying him, you ain't roughing him up. He's the type of guy that relishes those type of games. And he's been kind of reliable. And I'm wondering, have we finally found the right position for him in that he can he's sort of that deep lying player, drops in and helps out the defence, kind of drops in as inverted, sort of dropping in. And then if Partey's next to him, in particular, he looks decent. But I don't know, do we still need much better than that? Do we still need to improve? I don't know. Because he's become Mr. Reliable for Mikel Arteta, hasn't he? Or am I saying, because there'll be fans out there saying, "Oh, come on, he's had a couple of good games," but he's not. But I personally think, overall, when I look at him and many other players in the team, I think overall he's had a good season.
I think you need to look at it objectively, and in the centre midfield area, you kind of have around about 4 players for that position, for the 2 kind of areas. It's a bit like the centre back. You don't just have 2 centre backs; you have 4. Most other positions on the pitch, whether it be wingers, full-backs, there's 2 to a position. So I look at it and think we're more than likely going to be getting rid of Guendouzi permanently. So there's a player gone. El Neni for me is the one that needs to go permanently. So he's gone. Question marks over Joe Willock. Will he go permanently? There's another one gone. Will Dani Ceballos be staying as a permanent?
Would you keep him?
Looking at it, I'm thinking Dani Ceballos, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and I would like to see Basuma from Brighton. Those 4, for me, as a 4 to rotate between and have as your midfield 2, that's strong. For me, that's really good. When you look at it in the balance of things, say Ceballos replaces El Neni permanently, that's an upgrade for me. Granit Xhaka, stays on and Guendouzi goes. So Guendouzi, Basuma will be the change there. I think that is an upgrade. Think about it. Basuma, Partey, Granit Xhaka, Dani Ceballos. Would you be unhappy with that 4 and 2 to choose from on a weekly basis?
Or is it deep line players? You're deeper sort of.
Yeah, because you've got your 10.
Your box to box,
like,
and
Partey's your box to box. Like Basuma's, you watch the way he plays for Brighton. It's got the engine and everything else as well. So you've got a lot of variety in there. And I feel that between those 4, that's a decent 4. And I think if you're getting rid of El Neni and you're getting rid of Guendouzi, very talented, but major problems. We're even seeing at Hertha Berlin.
Yeah.
Like the manager's saying, new managers come in and he's saying that it's like dealing with a boy that's going through puberty.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that the other day, and you know, for a lot of Arsenal fans who've been moaning and groaning about Guendouzi going out again now, Mikel Arteta's starting to be vindicated on this.
Not just him.
Because,
not just him. Have you seen what's going on at Schalke?
Schalke, bottom of the league,
not
aren't
just
they?
that, but there's a player revolt.
With
and who are two of the players?
Mustafi. They only just got there.
They've only just got there. And they've got the manager sacked. And he's already come out and said that if he could have done things differently, he wouldn't have brought certain players in. And I'm like, yeah, you're finding out already. Mustafi's came in, Kolasinac's came in. There's a player revolt. You know, Mesut Ozil's gone to Fenerbahce. He's not pulling up trees. You know, their form's actually dipped since he's gone there. So it's like everything that Mikel's kind of just been saying from the beginning and what he wants to get rid of is kind of being vindicated.
At the moment, yeah. At the moment. And we're not talking about certain players at the moment. We're not talking about Ozil.
No.
We're not talking about, you know, and you know, Cedric, to be fair as well, just going back to him, when he has filled in at left back, it's been way better than what Kolasinac was doing, wasn't it?
Bar the Aston Villa game where he made that mistake.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot better than Kolasinac. A lot better. And I still think that he's one of the reasons why Pepe's playing the way that he is at the moment. And it's no coincidence. Pepe was playing on the left-hand side. He was excellent. And instantly everyone was going, the left-hand side's Pepe's is his position. And then I was sitting there and thinking to myself, but hold on a minute. Pepe predominantly played on the right-hand side at Lille. And he was superb. So how has the left-hand side all of a sudden became his favoured side when it wasn't over there? And then obviously Pepe comes in. I think it was the Man City game. And yes, it is Manchester City and everything. But with Bellerin behind him, he's so ineffective. He's not doing anything. He's not wanting to create things. So again, that argument, I should have gone on the left, not the right. But then in the last game against Leicester, he has Cedric behind him. And all of a sudden, the Pepe that we've seen on the left is on the right. So I don't think it's actually a left or right problem. He can play left or right. He just needs to have the right fullback behind him.
I also think, right, another position that Pepe could play, which he used to do a bit when he was at Lille as well, is sort of more central as well. You know, maybe in the future, don't be surprised you see him get tried out as that sort of false number 9 type, because, and the thing about Pepe, he scores goals. I'm looking at his record the other day, it's pretty decent since he's coming. You know, I mean, you think to yourself, for a guy that ain't really, you know, torn up trees at Arsenal, he's got a decent assist and goal scoring record.
He has. And
I think you consider he doesn't start every game.
Do you know what the thing is with Pepe? He had a really good back end to the season under Mikel last year, and we were all like really hopeful going into this. And then obviously had his problems at the beginning. Do you remember when he got sent off against Leeds? We all sat there and said, could this be the making of Nicola Pepe? Will he go this way or that way?
Will this wake him up?
And I think maybe the form of Saka and players like that has kind of given him the kick up the backside to say, whoa, hold on a minute.
It's woken him up, man.
And it's not just his offensive game that I'm impressed with, it's his defensive game. Like, he's doing the dirty work. And he's doing the things that you don't normally...
That's the manager, though.
It is.
That's the manager saying, if you don't do that, you don't play.
It is.
That's what I think.
But it shows that he's responsive to what the manager wants.
Yeah.
He's doing the job that's required of him. To the point where, we're arguing now over him starting games. And when he's not playing, we're going, Pepe's not playing. But it's become so difficult in certain areas now because you see in the form of Saka and then plus we want Martinelli in and giving his opportunities. And do you drop Aubameyang on the left?
These are good problems, man. This is the problems that we want to have. These are the problems we want to have. You know what? I want to ask this question today. I know it's not until next week, right? But it's the Europa League. We're up against Olympiacos again. Tough, right? Yep. Although I was happy with the draw, I have to admit. It wasn't the worst draw we could have got. But it's going to be tough. But if we could get through that, can we win the Europa League this season?
Why not?
I'm looking at the teams left in it, right? And the way it's fallen. So you've got the big guns left in it, Manchester United, but they're playing AC Milan. So it was another one of the big guns. Yeah. So one of those two is gone. Right? Then you look at the other teams, Dynamo Kiev and Villarreal. Remember,
Yeah, Villarreal.
Good teams.
there's this
Unai Emery.
part of me in my head that's just thinking of a Villarreal Arsenal final, and it's like, oh no, I think that would be up there with Tottenham for me because of the
Unai
whole
Emery,
Emery
yeah.
versus Arteta thing. It would just
Yeah.
blow your
But
mind.
that's two good, decent teams. But
Yeah.
you look on it and say, if you were up against them, Arsenal would be the favourites.
Mm-hmm.
Ajax versus Young Boys. Ajax obviously favourite to go through there.
Yeah.
Even though Young Boys had a great win in the last round, but Ajax would be the favourites.
Mm-hmm.
Ajax, of course, got a lot of pedigree in European football. That would be difficult to get past them.
Yeah.
Slavia Prague Rangers. Two good sides, but come on, if you got those two, you're expecting to get past them.
Yeah, I think
Tough games, but you're
Rangers
expecting
one
to
would be
get
a good
past
one,
them.
But Rangers concede goals.
Granada versus Molde. Remember who everybody said, Molde, look at how you're easy Arsenal's group are. I think it's one of the few groups where the two teams that came top and runners up are still left in the competition.
Yeah.
It's Arsenal's group.
And Granada, what a result they had in the last round.
Yeah. But if you get Molde, we destroyed them easily when we played them before. And Granada, you'd expect to, you'd expect to get past them.
Yeah.
Tottenham, Dinamo Zagreb. Obviously, Tottenham will be a tough. You'd expect Tottenham to get through that. Dinamo Zagreb, a decent team, but you'd expect Tottenham to get through, and Tottenham will be one of the favourites to win it. And then Roma and Shakhtar Donetsk. That's a tough tie for Roma. Roma are a very good side. Mkhitaryan. Shakhtar, lots of European pedigree. So when I look at the teams that are left in it, right, you'd say Man United, Milan, two very strong teams. That one of them two are probably favourites to win it, right? You then look on it and you'd say Tottenham are one of the favourites. Mourinho, whatever we hate him, Mourinho with what he's done, he's got a great record in this competition. Roma or Shakhtar, those two as well. Arsenal are in that mix.
Of course they are.
Of the teams that are left in it, you probably say, oh, sorry, and I miss Ajax. You've got to have Ajax in there. Ajax have been to the final in recent years, always strong in European competition. But when you look at those teams there,
it's anybody's competition at the end
it's
of the
a chance.
day. Anything can happen over two legs. And, before the draw, there was a few things that did make me laugh because, look, we know what season we've had and everything, but I saw Manchester United fans in particular saying, one Arsenal. And I was just sitting there like...
They want Arsenal.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, where are you getting this energy from? Like, what makes you look and go, yeah, I want Arsenal? Because despite our... failures this season and everything else, you still can't beat us, and you haven't beat us.
We played twice this season. We've beaten them once, drawn once.
Yeah, and in 3 meetings between Solskjaer and Arteta, you haven't even scored a goal past us. So where's this energy come from? I don't get that.
Which
kind of
shows
energy.
that if we did get Man United somewhere, it's not.
It's not the end of the world.
It's difficult. It's tough. They've got excellent quality
But it's not the
players.
end of the world.
But we know that over two legs, if we've look at it and we say, well, we played them twice this season, and they ain't even scored a goal past us, and we've beaten them in one game, it wouldn't be something to fear. You don't want to get them early. You don't want to. It's difficult. United are United. It's a big game. It's hard. It's a tough game. They've got match winners in Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Cavani. We know that. But it's not like you're saying, we're out. We've got United.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
You're looking at it saying, tough game, but winnable.
Do you know what I look at as well is that if all the teams that are expected to get through do get through, then you're going to get some real big quarterfinals. There's no way you can avoid them. If you do, you're lucky. If we get through to the quarterfinals and, for example, we drew the winners of Grenada or Molde, I'd be buzzing. I'd be like, yes. With no disrespect to either of them, but I'd be like, thank you. Yeah. And then what you would hope for then is, for example, if Manchester United and Spurs got through, they play each other.
Yeah.
So one of them's got to go.
Yeah.
And then you would hope that Ajax, maybe Villarreal, if they both get through. So one of them's got to go. You're just hoping everyone knocks everyone down.
I think anybody who gets through are going to want either of these games, right? So it's either going to be Dynamo Kiev or Villarreal. You take that, wouldn't you? If you got through, you take one.
As
That'd be tough,
do you know
but you
what?
take.
As an Arsenal fan, I'm not so sure because of the Emery factor and his record in this competition.
It's brilliant.
It worries,
But
apart from when we were in the
I'd
final.
rather Dynamo Kiev or Villarreal than Man United.
Yeah, what we hope
Tottenham,
is some
Roma,
of these predicted teams who should get through don't get through.
Slavia Prague or Rangers. You take one of those two.
Yeah, I'll take one of those two.
Right?
I'd be gutted if we got Rangers though and we can't go.
Yeah, but listen, I'll take it.
Yeah,
right?
I'll take it.
And then obviously Granada, Molde. You take that. What you don't want, I don't know, man.
We're going to get Man United if we get through.
The worst one to get for me is Tottenham. I think Tottenham. I think Arsenal Tottenham do have a good chance of winning this.
Can you imagine a final against them?
Would you want that?
I don't know if my heart could take it. I honestly don't.
It's because it's like even an Arsenal Man United final. That's bad as well.
The most I've ever experienced is semi-finals with Spurs, and
I remember the semi-final when we played them at Old Trafford. Was it Villa Park?
At Old Trafford.
Old Trafford.
They beat them 2-1. They went 1-0 ahead.
And I swear, when they went 1-0 ahead, I was there. Me and my brother was there actually at that game. I'm sure. I swear, I found it hard to watch the game.
Yeah, well, I was at the 2 at Wembley. The first one with Paul Gascoigne when he smashed it into the top bins. I think that was 91. That one, and then 2 years later, lo and behold, we get him again in the semi-final. Back to Wembley, revenge. Tony Adams, 10 minutes to go, back post, bosh, in you go. So it's like mixed emotions for me in that respect.
Hard games are hard because it's just
a European final, a European
all or
final.
nothing, as their documentary said.
Oh mate, and it'd be in Poland. Oh, and I'd be gutted that we can't. But could you imagine trying to get to Poland, playing Spurs? Like
a nightmare, man.
I remember that game at Old Trafford, and all I remember was driving up to Manchester. And at each service station on the M6, they had Arsenal service stations and Spurs ones.
Yep, I remember that.
If you was an Arsenal fan trying to pull off in this one here, and they were like, sorry, Spurs fans only allowed in here. I'm running out of petrol. Don't care. Break down on the hard shoulder and phone the AA.
The only good thing about that final, right, is that they all went. They were all gone by the time, so it didn't really kick off outside. Yeah. Because they were all gone. That semi-final, but could
you imagine, mate? They would be putting on separate planes to try and. Sports Option would have one hell of a time, wouldn't they? They'd have this is an Arsenal plane, this is a Spurs plane. You'd have Miles going. Well, I'm going on the Arsenal plane. I ain't going on that Spurs plane.
I wonder if that was the final.
Would we be allowed to go?
Would they be able to do it at Wembley?
Situation in Poland? No, there's no way they'll change. Because look, we got Chelsea and they made us go Baku.
Yeah, but what? In light of COVID.
I still don't think.
And in light of the fact that,
because it's a showpiece, you give the final to them, didn't you?
Yeah, but the vaccination, what about saying to me, you have it next year and play at Wembley?
But I think they've already located next season. English.
Well, then the season after,
because the argument that they would have with the the stadium in Poland is they would go, well, hold on, look at the two finalists. It's like Arsenal Spurs. It's a showpiece. But then if you're next year, it might not be.
If you're the people who are running it, that pitched it and got it in Poland, the whole point of having what city is it in? It's in in Poland. Is it Gdansk? I think it's Gdansk.
I think it is.
Right?
I'm not 100% sure.
Right? The whole point of having that final there is not just for people to watch it on TV. It's for people to come from abroad and for you to showcase your city. Mm-hmm. When we were in Baku, remember how, it was a nice, the game weren't nice. The stadium weren't nice. But the people, you could see they put their best
Stadium was nice.
The stadium, well, I didn't like it. It was
soulless. It was a smaller version of Bayern Munich.
Yeah. It was
the
stadium
was nice.
Outside looked nice. Inside, it was just a soulless bowl.
You know what it is? Because of the occasion, it felt soulless. Yeah. It didn't feel like a final. Do you remember
it didn't feel like a final at all?
And we were like, this don't feel like a final. It just feels flat. And this, look, we were saying this at 0-0.
Yeah.
And before the game, they just didn't feel.
Didn't have that same vibe.
A final vibe about it. No. And
but the city
wasn't. Oh, it's nice.
Was nice, and they put their best foot forward. And the whole point sometimes of these cities putting these things on it's like they want you to come back in the future. They want you to say, oh, you know what, it was such a lovely city. I'm going to go back to, Baku in the future or something like that, right? But then we know fans there. So if they delayed it from them and said, right, you can have it 2 years down the line.
I get what you're saying.
And then you play, that's if it was two English.
I would go back to Baku.
2 English teams, and you've got, with how the vaccinations and all that are going, no one's going to have to travel in.
Yeah, I get what
People
you're saying.
that are here in the UK might be able to go to the game. Well, what,
I get what you're saying, but, we're talking about UEFA and everything, and it's easier said than done with them.
But boy, I don't know, for my heart...
It can't.
My heart couldn't take...
It wouldn't be able to.
Even United, I don't even know if I want them in the final.
I struggle doing watch-alongs when Arsenal and Spurs play because it's live. It's
tough. It's
so tough.
It's unlike any other game when you play Spurs. It's like, I can't explain it. When you go and you're at the game, it's unlike... I remember when we played them a couple of seasons ago and Aubameyang missed that last-minute penalty.
Oh, mate.
And I swear, I was on the floor for a couple of days.
Mate.
And my son had to remind me, go, Dad, but you didn't lose, did you?
Yeah, it felt like it.
I said, oh,
you know
and then I said to him, I go, no.
Nah.
I said, we did lose. He goes, no. He goes, no. He goes, it was a draw.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, but I can't, but listen, man.
That game had every emotion for me in the space of around about 60 seconds. And I was 4 seats away from the divide to the Spurs fans. So
I was near it as well.
Now,
I was near him as well.
Now, you remember we went 1-0 up. And it was Ramsey that scored, wasn't it? And I remember sitting there and I was like, don't make eye contact with any of them. Don't let them realise it's you. Because once they realise I'm there, I'm just going to get it all game. So I'm like, Ramsey scored, celebrating, no problem at all. And I remember when Kane scored, and I think it was a penalty, wasn't it? And if VAR was in operation, it would have been offside. But someone clocked me and all I could hear then was, oh, DT, you're all this and that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, don't look at him. And I remember when Aubameyang got the penalty, I looked over at him and I'm like, don't do it yet. And they're just kind of like, they're like, oh, I don't want to look at him. And I'm there going, if this goes in, you're going to have to stop me jumping over them fucking divides in a minute, man. I'm like, all the abuse I've just faced for the last 20 minutes, I said, I'm going to have this lot. And when he's missed it, and then they're going, man, it's like, oi, DT, what are you saying now? You fucking I'm like, oh, no. I was like, oh.
I came out of the ground. First time I nearly hit one of our own fans. You know me, I normally keep my cool, keep my calm, all that. You've seen situations I've been in before. I keep my calm. I come out of the ground, right? I'm absolutely gutted.
I remember this.
I walk out, some guy comes up to me. You bet you're going to make a load of money now, ain't you, Robbie, right? I go, what? There's Miles and those guys there that grabbed me. They go, Robbie, cool. I go, what's this? I go, bro. Nah, seriously, you're already like...
No.
That felt so bad.
It was awful. That feeling
like
is...
someone, right, it's like somebody's given you £1 million, opened up the case and said, yo, bro, that's yours, yeah? And then when you put your hand in it, they just went... and run off and laughed at you.
Or it's like...
I was gutted.
It's like picking the lottery numbers and then realising you ain't pull it on. Yeah. And they were the right ones. Do you know what I mean?
I was gutted, man, and I swear. And so I don't know if I'd want to play him in the final.
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
I don't know, because it's like, it's either uncontrollable joy or hurt.
Mate.
And that hurt will last the whole summer.
It'll last longer than that. It'll last...
But we could, if we get past Olympiacos, that's what we could face.
That's what we need to worry about first, getting past them.
Well, that's it. I know. We have to go way.
I know. We're already like, yeah, we're in the final. We're going Poland. Yes.
Listen, I'm saying if we can win it. Remember, I did start off by saying if we get past Olympiacos, that's going to be difficult. Because I think we played 10 times, won 5 times each. Right?
I don't think everyone would be overly... worried about this game if it wasn't for last season's result, to be honest. I think that on the balance of the 2 games, we should have won that tie, all ends up. We should have finished it out in Greece. But I feel that, given that situation, it's the reason why everyone's going, ooh, tricky tie for Arsenal there. Where on normal circumstances, you'll go, I'll take that. Because the last time we went out to Greece before last season, we won 3-0. Olivier Giroud scored a hat-trick.
Yeah. You know what? When I saw the tie... I weren't unhappy with it because I'm like, you know what? If our players ain't fired up, Bamiyang, fired up, all those guys who played in that game last year, if they're not fired up for that game, and I think we're a better team than we were last year because, you know, when I look at the team last year, some of the players that played, there's a lot of the guys that have gone in it, you know. And I'm like, but like guys like Aubameyang and that, they must be fired up for that. That was hurt. That, you know, and Mikel Arteta must be fired up because that was his big setback. That was the one that that was the first time since when he came in that fans started to say, "Oh, hold on a minute, is this the right guy?"
That ain't acceptable. But
yeah, you know what I mean. That was, you know,
I wouldn't put that result down to him. I'll put it down to the fact of wayward finishing and just poor finishing and schoolboy defending. Same thing again.
Yeah, we've been still seeing that though.
I know. Yeah, you say
we've
that.
still seen both of those this season.
We have sorted the defence out though, in many respects. Yes, there are still
schoolboy defending. We've still seen Villa, City.
I'm not saying I'm
that
not denying
City
that.
goal where Sterling jumps above.
Yes, I'm not denying that. I'm saying it's better, and there is a clear change.
It's improved, but it's still not.
But you've got to think it's improved with the tools he's got. You know, these are defenders that the likes of Gary Neville and that have already said they're unmanageable. You can't coach them.
Listen, we got the game this weekend, of course, right? And it's going to be really interesting because, of course, we've got, and this is the month of March where there's lesser games than there was last month, but they're tough games.
Yeah.
So Burnley this weekend away.
Yeah.
Right? Burnley are fighting for their lives. They are in relegation trouble all of a sudden again.
Big time.
With some of their recent results. They got smashed up by Tottenham last week. Right? So we've got Burnley, Olympiacos, Spurs, Olympiacos. That's the month of March.
Yeah.
Then we go into that international break. It could be a great month. It could be a horrible month. Right? It could be a month that if we got through, that could give us so much momentum for the rest of the season. It could be a month where we're out of Europe and could suffer a defeat at Tottenham and our season's over.
Are we playing Spurs on the 14th of March?
I think it is, yeah.
Mother's Day.
Wow. Season could be over again, right? The season could have been over last month. It might be over again this month, right? We've got to get through it. Now, first of all, I want to ask you, that game against Olympiacos is very, very, very important.
Massively.
What team do we play against Burnley this week? Do we sacrifice a lot of the main guys? I've got, we're going to go through the formation. I've got the app out here, AFTV VIP.
Robbie, I'm going to say it straight from you know, the get-go that I think we need to probably go with similar to what we did with Leicester.
All right, let's run through. So in goal, you're keeping Leno in goal.
Oh, yeah, keep Leno in goal.
Right back.
Cedric. I keep him
there. No. So wouldn't he be more important then? Wouldn't he be more important then for the Europa League game?
I don't think. You can't risk the worry of injury to certain players, and I think that.
But you're talking about rotating, aren't you?
We're on about rotating, but some players you can't rotate. Because
you can rotate.
I don't know because
you can play Bellerin. He ain't that bad. Come on.
It takes a. When was his last good performance? It takes away from so much of our attacking threat. I'm sorry, but I would stick Cedric there.
All right, left back then. Didn't think about this one, did you? Because Tierney, you ain't thought about it, are you? Because who's going to play at left back?
No, I'm going to play Tierney because he's had a month off. He's had a week's rest
what
now.
What if anything happens to him, man?
Look.
He's vital.
I know he's vital, but Robbie, there's certain positions where I don't feel that we've got much of a choice in that situation. I feel that there's been a week's rest, which is key. You could
play Cedric there?
No, I want Tierney to play because if Tierney had not had this month off and he's been playing week after week after week, this is a game where I go, maybe he needs a bit of a break. But he's just had a month off, nearly 5 weeks.
All right.
So I don't think that there's a greater risk to it in that respect. You could play him against Olympiacos and he gets injured.
Yeah, but that's the game I'd rather him play.
No, but you get what I'm trying to say. You can't.
You can say that for every player. Then don't rotate nothing, then, because that could be happening to everybody.
But certain players, they're in a position where I feel that some players need the rest. They need it.
Centre backs.
I would go with what we had at Leicester. David Luiz and Pablo Mari.
Not keeping them back for the...
I'd let them play. I thought that they'd done really well against Leicester. I've been really worried about Gabriel of late. Like, I think we forget that he's still young, relatively young, and he's still going to make mistakes and still learning. I don't know what it is, but every time I watch Pablo Mari,
been a bit rash.
I just feel recently. I feel comfortable with Mari. I just feel like he does the job, and there's never a moment where you go, you know, and he won a race with Jamie Vardy as well.
All right, midfield.
Partey starts.
Starts.
Yeah, has to play now. He's had a couple of appearances.
Injuries.
Robbie, man, he's not been. Look, he's just come back from an injury.
Vital.
I know he's vital, but he's just come back from an injury. He needs minutes now.
Yeah, for like 15 minutes at the end or something.
He's already had 20 minutes. He's clearly fine. There's clearly no reoccurrence of the injury. He would have had a full week's training. Game? Yes, but he was obviously brought back too soon. And what happened within the space of 20 odd minutes? It went. But what I'm saying is, he's been back. He's travelled over to Greece, played over there against Benfica, no issues. Comes back from there a few days later, plays 20 odd minutes against Leicester, no issues. Has a full week in training. Now give him another 70 odd minutes ready for the Olympiacos game.
All right, who's the other midfielder in that too?
I would be very tempted to bring Xhaka out, but his engine's ridiculous, like we've already alluded to. But he's probably one that I would maybe bring out, maybe put in a Danny Ceballos.
Ceballos sort of like he's holding then.
Oh no, actually, Partey, no, El Neni, not Ceballos. Sorry. El Neni, yeah, I think El Neni could be the one that sits.
Okay.
But I think Xhaka will play.
Right, they're three in front of that. Who's going to be on the, let's go that right-hand side?
Pepe.
Left-hand side?
Willian.
No, Willian now. Oh!
My guy. My guy. My friend, you know.
The man sent him back a reply.
Hey, listen.
Right? I knew this was coming. Right? Now, another favourite has emerged. Yeah? Watch no more cussing of Willian. Because Willian sent him back a message saying, thank you, bro. Because you said to Willian, you sent him a message saying, well done, you had a good game.
Yeah.
And he sent you back a message saying, thank you, bro.
No, he said, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. So now, all of a sudden now, play Willian.
You know them. Listen, you watch. I'm going to come in with one of them wigs on as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to be Willian. He's like my guy now. And it's, now look.
All right.
I thought the pair of them, they deserved the opportunity to play this game because they were so good against Leicester. Yeah, they were the two best players on the pitch, and I feel. And Saka is so important to this team. And he's played so much football. And the fact that Mikel himself has said he's fatigued, just wrap him up a little bit more.
Okay.
And get him ready for Olympiacos and Spurs.
Right, the number 10 position.
Odegaard, because I think Smith Rowe's out anyway.
Yeah. Striker?
Stick with Lacazette.
Okay. So you've gone Leno, Cedric, David Luiz, Mari and Tierney. Mm-hmm. Partey, El Neni, Pepe, Odegaard, Willian and Lacazette. That's your team to play Burnley this weekend. I would be a bit different.
That's near enough the same team that we played against Leicester.
It is similar. I would go Leno, Bellerin, Luiz and Gabriel. Right? Because I'm keeping back Mari for the Europa League.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think to me he starts the Europa League ahead of Gabriel. But Gabriel is Burnley. And Gabriel, that physicality and that he's got, I think will work well in this game.
Is Craig Wood playing?
Chris Wood.
Craig Wood. Where did Craig Wood from?
Probably is Chris Wood. There's Barnes. They're all bastards, aren't they? They are hard bastards, aren't they?
Oh, mate, I've just realised it's Burnley away.
Yeah, Burnley away, mate.
The chip shop.
The chip shop.
The best chip shop in Burnley. Come on, it is good there.
It is a good chip shop.
It is a great chip shop.
Then I play Cedric on the left. I'm keeping back Tierney, man. He's got injury prone this season, and he, just like how you described Saka, I describe Tierney in the same bracket. He is absolutely essential. I want him going into that game fit. Then I'm going Xhaka and El Neni. Or maybe Xhaka and Ceballos.
No
one
Partey.
of those two. No, Partey's important, man. That's a vital player for Olympiacos for me. He doesn't start.
Oh, mate.
Then I agree with you, Pepe, Odegaard, Willian, Lacazette. I'm happy with that.
Oh, you're going with Willian as well?
Of course I'll go with Willian.
Yeah, look, sit
Listen,
there.
you can't have the guy can't have the game. But I'm going for a different reason than you. You're going for it because you're trying to friend him up, right?
It's my boy, man. I want his shirt.
Right? I'm going from it from the point of view that when somebody's come in and they've had a brilliant game like what he's had, you can't drop him. You've got to then say to him, yo, go out and do that again.
Do it again.
Go and do that again.
So we can see it ain't a false door.
Yeah, exactly. So go and do that again. You were excellent. That guy's been lacking in confidence. We know he's not as bad as what we've seen this season. He's been terrible for majority of it. He came on, nice little cameo when he came on against Benfica, set up a goal. The other day, 2 assists, played really, really well. Play him again against Burnley. Pepe has to play. He's a goal threat. He's been playing well. Lacazette was brilliant. And I would play Lacazette anyway, regardless of what, because I just feel that Lacazette, again, against teams like Burnley, physical, hold-up play is important. Odegaard, you got no option, really, because Smith Rowe probably
do you know the
be
only
out.
worry with your team? Is the fact that I don't think you're going to utilise Pepe properly with Bellerin behind him.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my issue.
Maybe we switch Pepe over to the other side.
Yeah, but then Willian will have a poor game and everyone will blame him.
Listen, I just think Tierney, we cannot afford that guy to get injured. Look how important a player he is. Look at the goal against Benfica.
I get it.
That guy's got to play against Olympiacos, man. He's another one. He needs to be literally wrapped up in cotton wool because him, Partey, Saka. They need to be wrapped up in cotton.
I just think that you can sometimes be too overprotective.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at their injury records. Their history's not good.
It's just the fact that Tierney's missed a month, so he hasn't played a lot of football.
Yeah, but
we have just had a week.
I'll tell you my other reasoning behind it as well, right? Is that it's not just for me. I look on it. It's just I want those guys probably those three. So Tierney, Partey, Saka to play the next 3 games straight.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Those 3 games after.
So I want them to play the first Olympiacos, then I want them to play Tottenham. Then Olympiacos again.
Yeah. That's what I've
So
got
that's why for me, why play them so they might have to play 4? No, I mean keep those guys out of this Burnley game. That team there should be good enough to beat Burnley. That team, and then you can always bring them on if it's going wrong. You can bring on, Martinelli. You can bring on Aubameyang. You can take off, such and such, and bring Tierney on. Put Cedric on the right. Yeah, I mean, you can switch it if it's not happening. But for me, those players, them 3 in particular, along with Aubameyang, they need to be playing 3 games straight if it's all going right.
Yeah,
because they're your 3 big players. They're your 3 game changers. Tierney's brought goals to his game now, as well as his assists and crosses and his great, defensive work. He's brought goals to the game. Saka, we know what he can do, assists, goals. Aubameyang, as we know, goal scoring. And of course, Partey drives the team forward. I would have took Xhaka out, but it's just because this guy, Xhaka's got an incredible engine, will play game after game. But my midfield pairings, him and Partey.
I would take Xhaka out if Partey's starting.
Yeah, I don't want. I wouldn't start Partey in that game. And then, what's the game? If you're looking and saying to yourself, right, I want to protect my players. What game would you look at? Say at the start of the season, say, right, which game could my players get kicked up in? Roughed up in that maybe I could get an injury.
But you say,
Burnley away.
But you say that, but 2 of the players you mentioned, I feel, can deal with that side of things, which is Partey and Tierney.
Yeah, but they're injury prone. Look at their record this season.
Partey's not injury prone.
He has been
had a lot
since
of bad
he's
luck. Tierney, I worry about in a sense of the injuries because he's got a history of it. Partey, before Partey come here, his injury record was fantastic.
That don't mean nothing now. I'm on about since he's been here.
I wouldn't say he's injury prone. I would say he's
since
been unlucky.
Been at Arsenal, he's been injury prone.
No, I say he's unlucky.
He's had a lot of muscular injuries.
But very, very minor ones.
But that's injury prone. That's not.
No, it's not injury prone.
He hasn't been kicked.
I knew you would disagree about something today.
No, but those are muscular injuries. Is not unlucky.
No, he is unlucky. And he's trying to. Did you get injury prone? Is somebody that's got a consistent year-on-year record of injuries, like a Kieran Tierney. It can be the shoulder, it can be the hip, it can be the knee or the muscular injuries. There's variations.
So why risk him then? You don't risk him in a game against Burnley.
Because I look at it and I say that when you weigh up the amount of football he's played over the past,
but the next 3 games after that, that's when he's going to play a lot of games. He's going to play Olympiacos, Tottenham, Olympiacos, 3 high intensity,
and he's just
high energy, must-win games.
And he's just nearly done that when he come back for the Benfica game, went into the Leicester game.
Put his feet up, man. Chill.
I think he's so important to the team and the way we play, man.
Put your feet up, Tierney, man. Man can come in and cover. Put your feet up. Saka, chill out. Yeah? Bamiyang, take a rest. Chill. Partey, relax at home.
We might relax at home, man.
Well, maybe not at home, but relax. Chill out.
I'm starting.
Get a heated blanket. Might need you for the last 15 minutes.
You might need it in Burnley. Dear Lord.
I don't know what you guys think. Let us know.
I'm going to run a poll.
We're not going to run a poll. I want your prediction though for the Burnley game.
Last time I done a prediction was Leeds and we won 4-2, wasn't it?
You got that right, didn't you? Come on in.
I'm just trying to get my powers.
You got a headache?
Yeah. Listening to you for the last hour. But, I would go with 3-1.
3-1. That's not bad. You know, I think I agree with that. I agree with that.
Nah, you're not allowed to copy me.
No, I am. I think 3-1 as well. Arsenal team's confident.
Who's scoring?
Lacazette.
Go on, say. Go on.
Pepe, 2.
I reckon
2 Willian assists.
I reckon.
I know you, Willian hat trick now.
No, Willian's going to score.
He's a hat trick now from
Willian's going to score. Willian will score. Anyway, this is the All Guns Blazing podcast. No, but I would say I reckon Lacazette. I reckon, you know what? I'm going to go Odegaard get a goal. And Pepe.
That's another guy as well. He's, don't know how bad Smith Rowe is, but now
we haven't heard yet.
Odegaard's now become a very, very important player. Again, that we're going to have to keep fit. But then he's coming quite fresh. He's not really played a lot this season, so that goes in his favour. But guys, it's been great to be back in the studio, man. Great to see you back in the flesh. We're looking forward to the game at the weekend. Arsenal versus Burnley. It's an early one. Saturday, early kickoff.
Another early kickoff?
12:30. I'm worried about those ones, but after the Leicester game last week, Arsenal go, put in a similar performance to that, be on the front foot from the beginning, we can get the job done. Then it's on to that tough game against Olympiacos. And then it's Tottenham. Easy peasy week coming up, isn't it, right? It could be...
Life as an Arsenal fan.
It could be a rough week. It could be a great week. Let's hope it's a great week. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. Don't forget, we are available on all the formats. Download it right now. The link is in the description. We also got a link in the description for Profit Accumulator. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description. Click on it and they will give you all the information. You have to be over 18. Don't forget. And we will be back next week with another All Guns Blazing podcast.